Our next guest on the show is Brian Turtle from Endless Games, and he's got some fun games for us to be playing. So, Traven, if you can, let's get Brian's feed up and running. The Endless Games, and you can go to endlessgames.com. There he is.
Hey.
There's the man of the hour, Brian Turtle. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Shannon?
We're doing great in this isolation. You know why? Because we're playing games.
What else better can you do?
There you go. So, Brian, I'm so excited that you're here because people need games to play with kiddos of all ages, and you have got the market cornered on this at Endless Games, and people can go to endlessgames.com to find your games, although they're available. A lot of your games are available on Amazon, right?
They are. Obviously, that's an easy, click right there. But as I tell you every year when we do our annual Christmas get-together, I'm always out to support the independent local retailers, the mom and pops, the boutique shops, most of which are operating on somewhat of a compromised business practice right now, but at least most of these places are able to stay open. They're able to do curbside pickup, or they're doing deliveries. So by all means, go out and support your local independent toy retailers, because they really help new products come to life in this industry.
Thank you for mentioning that, because I got to be honest, that isn't something that I necessarily thought about, is that there's very few mom and pop toy stores anymore. Because it's very hard business to stay in, right? Mm-hmm. And especially during COVID. So thank you for reminding us to support them. Yeah. So Brian, you've got some games behind you. What are we going to play first?
Well, I wanted to show you an old favorite. And when you said Endless Games has the market cornered, very good choice of words, because this is now the Korner'd Challenge.
And I've heard this is the newer version of Korner'd.
Sleeker, better, faster, stronger model. Yes.
I can't wait to see, because this was a fan favorite among kiddos on the spectrum. They are somehow miraculously really good at this game.
That's right.
And it's quite the esteem builder, because this is a tough little game. And you can sit down. Some of our kids, when my son was 6, was I think the first time we played it, and he trounced his grandmother at this.
That's right.
In 6 seconds. So show us the game.
So just to kind of refresh your memory, in the original game, you got a game board like this and 36 tiles that had different color quadrants on them. Okay, and the idea was, you deal out all the tiles, so every player, you can start off by dealing out 3 per player, or you can deal out all 36. And the idea of the game is everybody's playing at the same time, and you're trying to place your tiles on the board where at the intersection where the colors match up. And it's deceivingly difficult, because like a jigsaw puzzle, there's only going to be one spot on this board where this particular piece goes. And it's deceptively difficult, I would say.
Yeah.
Because you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, that goes right there. I see orange, green. And all of a sudden you start to realize that, wait a minute, there could be any number of spots where this looks like it goes, but there's only one place where it actually does go. And
I see it. I see where it goes.
Where it goes? I can't tell from my reflection. Let's see.
It's right there where your hand is, but you just got to turn it right there.
There it is.
There it is.
And you know what's neat is like I just had to do there, by turning the piece. And when you're looking at the board and it's flat on the table, it's obviously much easier than when you're holding it upright like this. But it really is a challenging game, or a perplexing game of perception, which is what we put on the box, because you can perceive this way, or this way, or this way, or this way. And it's all about realizing that you can turn this around and see this board in a number of different ways. Now, going back, 6-7 years ago, when you and I kind of first got to know one another, Endless Games put out this game Korner'd. And in that time, I was testing it out with my niece, Caitlin, who was on the spectrum. She's now a senior in high school. So I think she was, 9 or 10. So maybe it was 10 years ago. So Caitlin blew away her sisters. She beat me in the game. And I started to realize from playing the game with other children on the spectrum that they really excelled at identifying that pattern. and seeing it before their neurotypical playmates. And so we did do a lot to emphasize the autism connection there with our game Korner'd.
It's how we got connected in the beginning, because you guys reached out to us and said, hey, we've got a game that we think is particularly great. And then we started looking at your catalog and we just fell in love with Endless Games.
Well, we still in love with that for sure. Now, what we've done now to enhance the game now that it's, and I don't know if it's 9 years, 8 years, whatever it was that we had originally done the game, we brought it back because we wanted to kind of market it a little differently. When we first brought it to market, we may have overemphasized the autism angle on it. We didn't want to take away any of that, but it kind of was all over the package, and it may have kind of scared people a little bit. People
thought it was only for kids on the autism spectrum.
So it's fun for anyone. I liked it before I realized that connection.
Yeah.
But what's great about the newer, sleeker model here, the Korner'd Challenge, is that now the board has the color side, which it always had, but now it's also got this animal grid, which is even, to me, more disorienting. So now the tiles are double-sided, and now you're trying to find where that piece goes, and it's even more jigsaw puzzle-like, all about finding that intersection where that one particular piece goes. And just like on the front side, there's only one unique location for each piece, and it doubles the fun. We've made some modifications to the rules where you can play it the way as I described, where everyone gets 3 tiles or you deal out all the tiles. And we also made up the Korner'd Challenge, where each player individually takes all 36 tiles and you race against the clock. And
there you go.
So there's a number of different ways to play it, but it is available now and it is on Amazon. But again, this was a game that was really given the opportunity to come to life at those specialty stores and those independent retailers. So I would ask those places for it before you, kind of default to Amazon, because we do want to keep our local toy stores going. And those, like I said, are the places where new products get to sort of find life. So. And
I got to say, one of the many things that I love about this game is that there's not a verbal component to this. So if you've got a kiddo who's not verbal, you might find that they're really, really good at this game. You can play it with any age range. Really great. I think it's a great self-esteem builder for our kids. And a lot of times, Brian, people are asking me, what kinds of games can we get for our kids that are twice exceptional, that they've got autism and maybe they have another diagnosis, but they're quite brilliant and they don't have enough opportunity to bring that out. Korner'd. And now I love this new version of it. So get that. Yeah.
We were really excited to bring back Korner'd, because we always appreciated the cleverness and, quite frankly, the brilliance in the design and the concept. But we think we may have done it a disservice in the initial run through by kind of overemphasizing that one angle of being that it was great for kids on the autism spectrum, and it sort of made those other parents shy away from it. But be that as it may, we love it.
Great game. Okay, but you've got other stuff behind you, and we're working on the clock here. So show us a bunch of games.
So I just want to show you another one here. This is an old classic game here, and this is a great vocabulary builder. It's the game of Password, and this game has been around for over 50 years. And it's a deck of cards that look like this, and you cannot read the word until you slide it into the magic reveal. You remember this?
I love Password.
Yeah, it's a classic.
It's one of my favorites.
It's the best. It's Betty White's favorite game. So it's all about, I get the secret password by way of the magic window revealer. And then you, as my partner, I give you one-word clues for you to guess the secret password. And the fewer the clues, the more points we score. And it's a 2-player versus 2-player game. So it works in 2 teams of 2. So that if you and I were a team and we were going against 2 other players, they would hear my clue, and so they would be at an advantage. So it's just unlike Korner'd, which requires no verbal dialogue whatsoever. This is a good vocabulary builder. It's a great way to explore language and learn.
Can I jump in here too and say that for those of you who have teens that are on the autism spectrum, or even a little bit younger, if they have strong verbal skills, if you're trying to teach inhibition, because a lot of times our kids are impulsive and they say whatever it is that they're thinking. This is a great game because the one thing you can't do is say the word that's on the card. Yes. So they have to inhibit themselves from saying that. So it's a great thing to work on, but it also is great at perspective taking, because if I say the word, to you, I have to think about what will get you to say the word back. Not what will I say it to, but what will you get. So it's a great perspective taking game for teens.
And just
really
different layers of thinking, because I can say a clue that plays off of a clue that our opponents had said previously.
Yes.
So it's really good strategy that way. And then
really fun.
Yeah, this is one that's actually sold out right now on Amazon, but we're in the process of building more. But obviously jigsaw puzzles are always fun for everybody. And yet for some, I don't know, bizarre, I guess on temporary lockdown, jigsaw puzzles just became that perfect sort of, break from the chaos of watching the news and seeing what the world was like outside. So Jigsaw puzzles have just exploded. And this is one that we do at Endless Games, which is the best of Broadway. All of the playbill covers of all of Broadway's top hits right now. And being close to New York City as we are, I'm in New Jersey. Broadway's been dark now since St. Patty's Day, and they're not talking about opening back up until September or even October, November timeframe. So this is a nice way to, celebrate that great, piece of art that is Broadway and the theater and everything therein. So just a cool jigsaw puzzle here that we do here.
Great gift for those friends who have theater friends or teens that are really into things like Hamilton and stuff like that. Great gift for that. What else have you got back there?
Okay, so
keep going.
This is one of my personal favorites here. Everybody knows. It's trivia, but it's very simple, and it's about 10 questions on the card. You know all 10 answers because it's stuff everybody knows, but you have to get them all in 60 seconds. So I like to liken this game to your brain is a filing cabinet, and you have every answer in this box in those files in your head, but you have to race through cabinets and find the right folder to get all 10 questions. I mean, it's stuff like, what is the third vowel in the alphabet?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, A, E, I.
I, very good. Where is the aorta?
In your heart.
Okay. What is 4 times 7?
Oh, man. 27?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm bad at math.
Okay. What is the capital of California?
Sacramento.
Okay. What is the Roman numeral of 40?
Oh, I don't know. I'm completely bad at Roman numerals.
When the going gets tough, what do the tough do?
They get going.
Very good. What is the yellow condiment often found on hot dogs?
Mustard.
How many colors are there in the game Twister?
4.
Yes. What soft drink is also called the real thing?
Is that Coca-Cola?
Yes, it is. And what animal is man's best friend?
Dog.
Okay, you got 9 out of 10.
Okay, but here's what's great about this game when we're talking to folks who have kids on the spectrum is that most people are walking around with that file cabinet of the general knowledge, but some of our kids aren't because they were learning language when we were learning all those other things, or they just missed the cue, or they don't understand the euphemistic language. Now, there's no way you can teach all it to them, but if you're playing this game, they're going to soak up a lot of it. So I love this game for that reason.
And another thing that's great about this one is that maybe 9, 10, 11-year-old won't know all the answers, but they will know some of them. And so unlike some of those more difficult trivia games or some of the games that are very fine pointed in their trivia nature, this is very broad, mostly basic stuff that they're going to feel a sense of accomplishment when they get 1 right or 2 right or 5, 6, 7, 8 right answers. So it really is a cool one. You can put the sand timer away even if you want to.
Yep.
And take that pressure element out of the game to kind of modify it to your audience.
And I got to tell you, there's a lot of your games that we sort of change up a little bit. That for this one, what we do, because we let the little kids play too, and we play in teams. So an adult is with a kiddo and they get to discuss. and come up with it. So it really becomes a learning opportunity to learn those things.
Yeah.
So we're always changing it up on you. We've got 2 minutes, Brian. How many games can you show me in 2 minutes?
I'm going to show you one more, and it's a real quick card game. It's very simple, and card games are always fun and basic. And if we do get a chance to travel this summer, these are always easy to take along with you. This one's called Red Light, Green Light, 1, 2, 3.
We gave an award to this one a couple of years ago because we loved it so much.
Yeah.
Talk about it, though.
Okay, so I'm going to go off the back of the box here, if you can see that. So
yeah,
this is the cards here. So you've got red lights, green lights, 1s, 2s, and 3s in the deck. Over and over again, red light, green light, 1, 2, 3, throughout the deck. You deal out 7 cards to each player. Each player then, on his or her turn, can play as many cards in their hand as they can, which is a very unique element to a card game. Normally you're drawing one or discarding one or what have you. In red light, green light, 1, 2, 3, I'm playing as many cards as I can, as long as I stay in sequence. So I play red light, green light, 1. Maybe I don't have a 2, so my turn ends there. You go up next, you go 2, 3, red light, because it rolls back over again. It's back to me. Now I'm at green light. Maybe I don't have a green light card in my hand. That's when I have to draw from the deck and continue drawing till I get a green light, and then continue the sequence. So you're trying to run out of cards first. It's a game that you can actually win in the very first time around, or you can spend an hour trying to get rid of all of your cards. But it's very simple, very basic. It's all about staying in the sequence of 5 different cards: red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. And it can't get much simpler.
Great game for teaching sequencing with our kids, because I'm always trying to maximize what are we learning while we're doing that, and your games are great for that. What I also love is if they go to endlessgames.com, you have games for everyone. You've got games for very little kids, all the way up through things that everybody's great grandmother would love to play, and things that you can sit down and play together. I love that a lot of your games with younger kids have a movement component to it.
Yes, like Traffic Cop and The Floor is Lava that you guys have awarded.
This last year, they're in our toy guide because there are movement elements to them. They're great games.
I didn't have those at home with me, but I'd be remiss if I didn't have a chance to at least show you what those ones look like there. Floors Lava.
Awesome.
And Traffic Cop. So
we loved those, and we tested them out with kids last fall, and they went gazanga over them. They're super duper fun.
Lots of movement. A lot of energy,
yes.
So it's a great way to
your games are about being interactive and having good quality time, but there's also always an educational component that's available if you want it in the games, which I absolutely love. It's fun on steroids. Brian, we love you. We love Endless Games. We're like your biggest fans ever. And I just want to
you too and your group.
I just want to say, I mean, like, so many of your games are so great for people in our community. But the fact of the matter is that they're great for everyone. So we hope that everybody, and several people wrote in and said they different games that they were loving and that they're going to get them. So please, you can go to endlessgames.com to shop around. But as Brian said, find your local Astra toy dealer. Their mom and pop stores, call them up and say, I'm looking, I just saw Brian Turtle from Endless Games. What have you got? Can I pick up curbside delivery, no contact delivery? See if you can do that. But they are available on Amazon as well if you cannot find them close to you.
And just one final note, Shannon, I wanted to say, though, that it's great that families and friends are kind of reconnecting over games and puzzles while we're here, stuck inside during this whole quarantine and everything else. When the quarantine lifts, I really do hope that people remember that feeling and they continue to carry that fun memory that they had playing that game forward. And, and that it really brings back a nice resurgence into playing games with your friends and family, because there's nothing quite like the human interaction you get when you play games together. And it's unplugged and you're away from the TV and the computers and everything else. I just can't get enough of it.
And I want to remind people that, if you've got a loved one that is far from you that you can't get to, and particularly folks that are a little bit older, play online. Get yourself a Zoom thing. And there's so many
password virtually, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You could play Everybody Knows virtually. They're all most of these games you could play them virtually. So I hope that you guys play some games, have some fun lower your blood pressure, and your kids will still be learning. So Brian, thanks so much for being here. We can't wait for it to be holiday season to have you back again.
That's right. I didn't get to wear a fancy Christmas outfit. I wore my Freehold Strong shirt. It's Freehold, New Jersey. And a lot of communities do these t-shirt sales, and all the proceeds go back to helping essential workers and stuff. So hopefully other folks out there see those type of fundraisers and support those as well.
Wonderful. Brian, please stay safe, and thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Shannon. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.